Hi everyone there. I am Dr. Jayal Shah, Professor of Cardiology at UN Mehta Institute, and we will have some glimpse regarding the recurrent in-stent stenosis today. So I guess this is the most common problem you might have experienced during your cardiology career, and it is also recurrent ISR is the most intriguing and puzzling situation, which I guess nobody has to face. Going by the definition, I can say that angiographic diameter stenosis of more than 50%, either at the stent segment or its edges, qualifies for the definition of ISR, and failure of at least two revascularization procedures with multi-metal layers at the stent segment defines recurrent ISR. So, despite the advances in the coronary platform and the different drug-eluting stents, DES failure remains an important clinical problem. And failure rates are typically around 6 and 9% in non-diabetic and diabetic patient at the end of 1 year. So this is just angiographic restenosis and its classification. When it is focal, it is type 1, diffuse, proliferative, and total, classified as type 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Regarding the clinical restenosis, so in addition to angiographic diameter restenosis, when you have a positive history of recurrent angina pectoris or objective signs of ischemia at rest or during exercise test, or any abnormal results of invasive functional and structural coronary imaging and target lesion revascularization with diameter stenosis 70%, even in the absence of above ischemic sign and symptoms. So this is all regarding the clinical restenosis. So we are now discussing the most important, that is the most common patient characteristics which are likely to lead to increased predisposition for recurrent ISR. Particularly, you might all knowing the diabetic chronic kidney disease, multivessel disease, advanced stage, and female gender. Some lesion characteristics are also associated with a higher risk of ISR, particularly the complex lesion, longer lesion length, smaller artery diameter, and left anterior descending artery, and osteostenosis. Different technical and mechanical also predisposes to this recurrent ISR. Particularly, it includes like geographic maze or under expansion in stent fracture. So, the geographic maze occurs particularly when the stent does not fully cover the injured or the disease segment, and under expansion is also most commonly frequently encountered with early DES failure, particularly within 1 year from implantation. Technical and biological mechanisms of ISR. Particularly, I guess these are the different mechanisms of ISR. You might keep in mind there is new atherosclerosis, under expansion, geographic maze, fracture, hypersensitivity, new intimal hyperplasia, plaque prolapse, and drug resistance. So this is the OCT image, which is showing the multi-layer ISR with neointimal tissue and onion skin layer of neointima between two stent layers. And this is B showing the OCT image of calcific neoatherosclerosis with neointimal tissue. That is, the star is denoted by the neointimal tissue. Now this is showing the fracture, that is third fracture, particularly at the flexion point of an LAD and diagonal bifurcation with severe ISR. You can see the corresponding image, OCT image here. You can see in the superior arc there are no stent strut visible, which indicate the stent fracture. So which are the different according to the ISR mechanism? The different potential treatments are also underlined, I guess. Recurrent in stenosis, the treatment is less proven, and the different options like laser or brachytherapy or drug-coated balloon or IVL can be used with varying rates of success. So multiple studies also showed that imaging is the ultimate should be used during the stent deployment and post stent deployment to optimize the apposition and prevent the recurrent ISR. And the target is to achieve the minimum stent area at initial stent implantation, which is more than 90% of the closest proximal or distal reference segment. So, in a series of recalcitrant ISR cases where patients with 2 layers of DES are treated with a third DES layer, IVAS has demonstrated that the 2-layer DES under expansion was common, and severe calcification behind the stent was seen in all cases of under expanded multi-layer DES ISR. So, this is showing the CTO, RCA CTO in the proximal segment with the multi-metal layers present in the corresponding IVUS images in the ISR CTO segment. So multiple layers of stent, however, also leads to an onion skin layer, that is multi-layer stent on the neointima. So treatment wise it is very challenging, and most of these patients who are presenting with recurrent ISR are poor surgical candidates, often due to prior CABG. So intravascular brachytherapy is a metal and drug-free treatment option for such patients, which particularly works on the principle of low-dose ionizing radiation, which prevents vascular smooth muscle proliferation and inhibits pro-inflammatory cells. This is the brachytherapy system available in the US using strontium 90 source, so that to compare. So these are the contemporary imaging guided ISA treatment currently employs an algorithm which uses a varying combination of cutting balloon, laser atherectomy, rotational atherectomy, brachytherapy, and lithotripsy, and drug-coated balloons. So this is just a proposed algorithm for treating recurrent in-stent restenosis, which is the crux of today's discussion. So by definition wise, 2 or more episodes of ISR with previous treatment with the stent. First, optimize the medical therapy and control the associated risk factors, and go for intravascular imaging as necessary if the symptoms are not controlled and intervention seems necessary. Intravascular imaging in form of IVUS and OCT, you assess for the stent under expansion if it is present. So, and depending on that, expand the stents to prepare the vessel with high pressure balloon cutting or specialty balloons. Other varying combination of laser atherectomy or intracoronary lithotripsy can also be used. If it is expanded, it is well and good. If it is not expanded, then ultimately you have to consider CABG or repeat intravascular brachytherapy. Suppose if there is no stent under expansion, but there is a stent fracture. So in that case, if there is a stent fracture, avoid the restenting, and preferably you can use drug-coated balloon or intravascular brachytherapy. If there is also no stent fracture, then if there is a one stent layer, that is you can use drug-eluting stent. If there are two stent layer, particularly qualifies in patient with recurrent ISR, it can be treated with drug-coated balloon and intravascular brachytherapy, and 3 or more stent layer, definitely intravascular brachytherapy. And if there is a recurrent stenosis again on the follow-up, consider or give that patient is a good surgical candidate, given all the exhaustive options of interventional treatment or armamentarium has already been exhausted. So this such patients often goes for CABG. So I guess this presentation might help and might improve your perspective on the management of recurrent ISR, and it might also help you in your career and your patient outcomes. Thank you.